Hey Luis, CJ, thanks for sending this to me. Looks like the weather in Brazil is pretty nice. Anyways, let's talk about it. I know you've been playing well. You started hitting a few high short rights, and I want to kind of talk to you about what's going on here. So, first off, let's just talk about the setup for you. So, remember, back of the shoulders, tip of the knees, balls of the feet. That's what we're looking for. Back of the shoulders, tip of the knees, balls of the feet. So what's happening here is you're getting a little too much knee flex. Your weight is getting a little bit too much in your heels. One of the things I want you really to kind of look at is your belt line. So as we look here, you're going to see your belt line's looking pretty flat. And let's just use that kind of matching your shaft plane line. You could see Tiger's belt line is pretty closely matching his shaft plane line. So that's first and foremost. The better you are, the more important that posture has been, or is, and you're just getting a little lazy with your posture. So with that, what's going on here, and I'm just going to kind of put a line here on your head and on your rear end. So what's going on, the club's just a little inside, and it's just because you're turning a little bit too much. So we're going to try to keep this. I know you're at a tournament right now, so I'm not too worried about that, but you will see a difference there with Tiger, where he's keeping the club a little bit more in front of him. Now, because your club's a little inside, you're going to see how your left arm is getting a little bit too flat. So really what we're looking at is trying to get this left arm to closely match that shaft plane line. Yours is looking a little flat. That is causing the club to get across the line. And so just so we're I know you know what that means, but just so we're all on the same page, your club is starting to point too much that direction. All right? And that is, again, because your left arm's flat. Why is your left arm a little flat? I think a lot of it has to do with your setup, buddy. When your weight was flat that way, your weight was in your heels, your belt line was flat, that's causing that left arm to work across you. You're still going to have to work on it, but I think posture and everything is going to be the big key for you. So now as you come down from that position, you're going to start steep, and we don't quite have the same frame. You know, as we could see with Tiger, how the club is shallowing out here. Okay, coming more from inside, but then you can see how the club head stays above that line. So with you, the reason you're hitting it short right, let's see if we have the right frame. There we go. You can see how much lower his hands are to that line. Your hands are working really high. And I know when you were in college, we worked on this and getting your handle low left on the way through. And that's what we have to kind of work on as well. We have to go back to that. However, from the across the line position, it's impossible for you to get your hands lower and to the left. So, having said that, when your handle gets high, the club exits. You can see where it's exiting right there. And as you know, we should get that club exiting more parallel to, slightly above that original shaft plane line. You can see how much lower Tiger's club is exiting than yours. So let me just kind of clean this up. Some of these lines here. Alright, so when your club's exiting, you can see right here above your shoulder, and Tiger more parallel to, slightly above the original shaft plane line. And again, the reason that is, let's just trace Tiger's back. His handle's lower. He can swing more left. The reason his handle's lower is because the club is parallel. Your handle's high. Your club is steeper on the way down because the shaft, or the club, is across the line. Okay, Tiger's is basically anytime the club is short of parallel, the club should be pointed a little bit to the left. If it gets parallel, we'll see the club head right here by the handle. So, alright, so we saw that your left arm is parallel and the club was across the line. Why? Again, it starts here from setup. It all starts with you, Luis, from your belt line and where your weight is. So as you can see, again with Tiger, line from the back of the shoulders, tip of the knees, balls of the feet, sharp belt line, flat belt line, and right there where that's just a little too back on it. Now I want to look at it excuse me, from face on, and one of the things I want your Brazilian coach, I think you're at a tournament though, so be careful. We don't want to work on this too much because this will feel a little strange. However, I'm starting to see what I think is just a little too much pre-rotation in that right arm, a little too much with the left arm. So I want to make sure that when your left arm starts getting pointed too much at the target, we want to see it pointed at your left hip. That will make your left hand grip a little weaker. Alright, it's starting to look a little on the strong side to me. The right arm's starting to look just a little bit too much underneath, just fractionally, not a ton, but I think if you can get that right elbow pointed a little bit out, left elbow pointed more down, that will help your arms rotate better and work less across you. So, to recap, we need to get I want your coach to look at your arms, make sure they're matching. A simple way to do that would be to stand straight up and then push your arms straight out away from you with the clubs vertical. So push your arms straight out and you'll notice that your elbows will be matching. You won't have one elbow pointed out towards the target, one elbow pointed down. And then just maintain that elbow position as you bend over and get the club on the ground. 2, make your belt line sharper and get your posture better. You know the posture drill that we've worked on in college, the posture stick drill. Redo that and you should be okay. If you fix that, re-video it, look at it, you might want to just get your left arm a little higher at the top, feeling like the club will be laid off, and that will fix you. And knowing you, just because we spent that many years working together, you can work a little bit on swinging it left with the handle lower. Let me know, send me an email, and let's talk about your plan for next year. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.